So it's currently 5 till 9 in the morning, and I'm heading down the Cumberland Trail. I'm going to take the right-hand turn and go out the Eagle Bluff Pass, which is supposed to go up the side of the mountain, final elevation over 3,400 feet. It's supposed to take me along the east side most of the way, and there's supposed to be some pretty scenic views as well as a waterfall. It's supposed to be about 11 miles all the way to the next campground area, but I don't plan on going quite that far. We're just gonna see if we can get up to the bluff today and maybe get to that waterfall. We're about 20 minutes into the trail. In the background, I'm sure you can hear the trail's been following the highway very closely. I don't think I've been more than about 100 yards, maybe 150 from it at any time yet. But this switchback that I'm going down seems to be taking me away. So hopefully the sounds of the highway will disappear soon, and I can just enjoy the sounds of nature. I did see some bear scat right at the beginning of the trail, but that's the only sign I've really seen of any activity. Of course, I'm no expert, so there's probably been other signs and I just don't recognize them. I've probably gone up in elevation about 600 or 700 feet already. First thing the trail did was take me up 2 switchbacks right up the side of the hill. Now we're going down as we follow the trail, and I'm sure it'll go back up again once we get closer to the bluff. So we've gotten kind of up into the bones of the mountain. Everything up here is rock, and it's getting increasingly difficult to keep your eyes out and about for anything else besides the trail. There's a tree kind of falling across it on my way back through. I'll show you, because right there, smack dab in front of me, was what appeared to be a bear cave. I don't know that it's inhabited, but I skirted around it just in case. Whew, we're going back up again after going down into a valley between this ridge and the other one. Crossed about a 10-yard clearing where they run the power lines in over the mountain. Came through. There's a small stream running through there and a beautiful meadow where I'm sure if I sat there long enough, I'd see some deer or a bear. But for now, I'm gonna have to let you go. Before I do, just to give you an idea, that's what you're looking at. Downhill, if you started rolling, I don't think you'd stop for a while. Right back up in there. Big, nice hole in the ground. I'm sure that some bear will find that nice and cozy when winter comes along. It's now 10 till 10. I've reached a large riverbed, all dried up right now. The bridge that crosses over to the other side. It's fairly good condition, although it significant angle right here. But I'm back near the highway. Been hearing cars fairly regularly. And now we're really starting to climb up. It looks like there's about 3 switchbacks in front of me. And I'm gonna log off, because this is gonna require some deep breathing. But it's all been worth it, because I've been seeing stuff like this all day as I've hiked along this trail. And I can't wait until I get to the waterfall. Well, I've made it down to Bruce Gap Creek, and I found the first sign of anybody out here besides me. Somebody got a campsite set up. Oh, the creek is right there. And it's a real pretty view. According to information on the trail, there's a 10-foot waterfall not far from here. It was a little difficult getting down onto the dirt road that I'm on right now. Thankfully, this part is pretty well kept up, but getting down to it from the ridge up there was a little bit difficult. Had to use some trail finding days from my childhood to find a way down. A couple of loose rocks. You really got to watch it in that section. But I'll log back on whenever I get to the waterfall. Well, it's 10:30 right now, and I have made it to the first waterfall listed on here. It's beautiful, and sadly we haven't had much rainfall, so it's much more than a trickle right now. But as you can see, if it were to rain nice and heavy, there's a big old fall that would run down the length of that face of that escarpment. The riverbed's littered with old stone. According to the information I've read, this section is actually not natural. They created this fall to divert water and manage it better when they built I-75 coming through here. I'm gonna head back up out of this gorge and keep going down the path and see what else I can find. Well, as you can hear, I'm sure, I've made it to the main attraction on this trail for me, which is this waterfall right here. It's about a 20-foot drop. It's got a beautiful pool right here, and if I can get up to the top, I'm sure there's another lovely pool right in there. And to be completely honest, if it weren't for the fact that here in these trees it's only about 60 degrees and the water temperature is more around 50, maybe even 45, I'd jump in and take a dip. But it's quite amazing and beautiful. The only thing that has marred it up a little bit is somebody camping built a fire. There's no tent anymore, but somebody clearly built a fire just off the trail, and unfortunately they left a bunch of their trash behind. But to see this, it's been well worth the trek up here. It's now 10:45, and I'm gonna head up a little further and see what else I can see on the trail. So I was just minding my own business coming over here to check out the waterfall. I found this little guy crawling around the ground. He seems pretty skittish, not wanting to crawl very much now that I picked him up. I almost wish Ara were here. She'd love this. Little millipede here. I say little. It's the largest one I've ever seen outside of a zoo. It's amazing watching his legs work, and he's just kind of cool to crawl around. Just one more thing that I'm glad to say that I ran across out here on the trail. Whew. I've made my way up on the way to the Devils Racetrack overlook, and there is this massive boulder just off the side of the trail. I'd estimate it's easily 18 feet high by roughly 30 feet wide. I have made it all the way up to the overlook on top of the Devils Racetrack, and the view is spectacular. I can see the lake and the mountains and the highway for miles and miles and miles. It has been well worth the hike to get up here. It's now 11:15. Started at around 9. According to the trail guide, before I made the ascent up here, I was already 500 feet up. I'd guess that I've at least done another 500 feet getting up here. So I'm roughly 3 or 4 miles into the trail and about 1,000 feet from where I started. And it's beautiful up here.